Yeah, you don't know, say our history, so you don't know me. I have to come represent, you know? Our story, yeah?
And next we're going to have Imani. Imani's coming up to say one or two poems for you. Okie dokie. Many thanks.
Greetings, everybody.
Greetings.
I come under the name of Original Born Word Goddess when I'm doing my poetry. I hope you enjoy it. My people, I love my people, my people. I love my people, my people. Ooh, down the road. We carried many loads, but we still stand tall. After every fall, we're the kinds with strong minds, my people. I just love my people. Dedicated to all of you, Black History Month, thank you. This poem is about my granny. My granny, Dominica, she died when I was a young child. But many of you, you know you've got those grannies that you just can't take no nonsense when they're around, you know? She was very firm but very loving. She was a very strong matriarch in the family. So dedicated to my granny who died in June 1992 in Dominica. My granny, man, my granny. She lived in Castle Bruce all her life. She knew nothing of what British snow was like. She baked her sweet, sweet bread just right. Each child she saw in the village she could put a name to. They didn't fear the darkening light and walking home alone. With her face filled with histories, sentences and lines, I traced my past through her face for the last time. The plantation house, its creaking bones survived her, smelling of love poured over the years. The pleasure she brought, the candle-filled nights, the reunion of all our tears. My granny, wow, my granny. Now her shadow declined, the Castle Bruce mother has gone, and the silence falls on the savannah as all her children mourn. The lull of the river tells me she is at rest. The mountains, the ocean, Dominica, the place she loved the best. Thank you. Thank you. My granny too, they're all our grannies, huh? This one is dedicated, I wrote this actually to, there was a suffragettes movement a few weeks ago at the university, you know, and it was talking about equal rights for women. It was 100 years of women had the vote. But I can't help but wanting to say something more about our experience as Black women. Because when we were enslaved, our sisters were not there to support us as women because we were seen as less than a human. So I wrote this poem that asked me to write a poem dedicated to the Black woman as part of that struggle. It's called Keys to Freedom. When I say I stand with you in solidarity, yes, it is true, my sister. For you and I, womb precious and so powerful that they silence us. But sister, let me say this, that my experience and my story differs slightly, and I need to share it with you. That whilst Western women battled for liberation with ribbons of solidarity dressed on their lapels, I lay in pools of blood in the cane field. Cries to the masses whip were ignored when I cried to you for solidarity then, my sister. Crawling mangled in the cane fields to feed a sugar addiction that was so great that human rights were ignored and justified by labeling me less than cattle on a slavery inventory list. stay strong because my legacy lives on, my sisters. My legacy is beyond the branded names to destroy my African psyche. My names and traditions and cultures and religions were erased through programmed ideology over centuries. I remain triumphant and in the peace, not learning that my story is thousands of centuries old. My history lays buried in the waters where ancient temples lay buried. In these waters show the truth, so profound that I, black woman, birthed the whole world from the Nile River. Images of kings and queens who in their sovereignty sat side by side in queenship and kingship. Great women bestowed with power to shape and mold great nations. Great women who brought forth healing and medicine and governance, the blueprint to shape a whole society, African woman. But this monster called patriarchy, this monster called racism has eroded my reality. And from the great baobab tree, I am now a splinter. I am now the splinter that will prick the conscience of mankind to erase this notion that I came from a rib. I came from no rib, my brothers and sisters. I am the splinter that will prick the conscience of mankind to change and heal the world. Thank you. Thank you.